My desk is hardly set up. I've got a video exporting. It's still got 32 minutes to go. And I've had a crazy week, man. Real busy. But I didn't want that busyness to become an excuse as to why I didn't upload a video this week. So I've turned the camera on to basically hold myself accountable to weekly uploads. What's this video gonna be about? Well, I said I had a crazy week, so I'm just gonna tell you about it. It was kind of fun. It started on Monday at 6 a.m., which is a terrible time to start pretty much anything. But it started then because my friend Bryce, who I do a podcast with, has a radio show, and he was doing the radio show of The Breakfast Spot, and he wanted me to be a segment on his show. And the segment was Nobody Knows What the Newsreader Looks Like. There's this fella Dave Marchese, and Bryce and his co-host Ebony were like, well, what if we got Cam in to draw what Dave looks like according to the listeners who've never seen him? So it was kind of like a police sketch, which was a weird way to start my day.
Good morning, Bryce and Ebony hanging out with you on Triple J.
This is the picture that I came up with. This is Dave himself. Looks nothing alike, as you can tell. But it meant that my week had kicked off weird, which is a good way to kick off anything, I think. After that, I had the cameras on, so I filmed last week's video pretty much following that. Bryce came over and we did our podcast. Then I had a meeting with a dude about my animation studio and all the animations that are going to be coming out of it. At the moment, all that stuff is confidential, but watch this space. I feel like I'm going to be saying watch this space for like 6 months, but do it, okay? Tuesday, worked on this video, and also on that day, I started on some designs that I've been putting off, which Wednesday was the day that I finished them. And that night, I had my first ever animation go live on TV. Hand sanitizer put on. It was only a 2-minute sketch, but damn, I felt pretty good. Thursday was a bit more fun. Me and my business partner Aaron were playing around with rigging this character, this camel character that we've been playing around with, that we're calling Hump. Meanwhile, Bryce had an idea because he was really happy with the Dave Marchese sketch, and he wanted to get a gift not just for Dave, but also for his producer and also for his co-host Ebony. So he asked me to draw these. After I'd finished the commissions, we played around a little bit more with the rig. So if you've ever used Character Animator, basically what you're doing is you're creating a puppet, and then that puppet can mimic the movements of you as you look into the webcam of your computer. It is mind-blowing, which means you can pretty much animate in live time. Obviously, it's not perfect, but then you can tweak it, and the tweaks are a lot faster than if you were just to animate a character straight up.
Yeah, you might call this a greenhouse. Yeah, you might call this a botanical setup, but I call it the weed place. Why is that? Because it's extremely illegal.
On Friday, a good friend of mine came around who's a writer. He was the guy that wrote most of Generation Batuta, if you'd ever listened to that series that I worked on. Me and him gave ourselves homework and coming up with a series arc and a pilot script. His was a lot better than mine. We had a few notes on it, and hopefully by this Friday, we'll have a pilot script ready, which brings us just that little bit closer to making the animated series. It was also my fiance's brother's 30th, so we went up to Newcastle for dinner that night. And I will say at this dinner, we did drink alcohol, even though I'm in the process of quitting alcohol, but at the same time, I didn't even enjoy it that much. It more just felt like muscle memory. I just think that's important to mention, that it's not a complete perfect road to sobriety. Particularly in this country, there is just so much cultural pressure to drink, so it takes a really strong mind. And I don't have that mind yet, but I'm working on it, baby. The next day we woke up, went paintballing, because it was the 30th, and that's what you do on a 30th, and damn man, it was awesome. I got shot in the cheekbone, if you can see that, like right there. So that's starting to look a bit like ringworm. Imagine that it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. It's beginning to look a lot like ringworm. Sunday was a rest day, although I had a lot of research to do. I had to research Lil Yachty, of all people, because this morning I had to wake up and interview him, which was weird, which was such a strange experience, waking up and being on the phone to Lil Yachty. The other cool thing that happened on Sunday, which got me thinking, was my fiance had made this video, which I thought was really cool, and she posted it on TikTok, and it got like 100,000 views in 2 hours, and I was like, holy smokes. And then obviously because it features this product, it got taken down. So she uploads it again, and this time, instead of a really supportive comment section who recognized her art and craft and creativity, it was really toxic. And she didn't seem to care, but I got really defensive. And it reminded me of when I get haters. I don't really care, and she gets defensive. And I don't know what that says about us, but I wanted to fight all these people. I just wanted to. But you can't. You gotta be cool, you gotta be the bigger person. And it wasn't like it was 100% toxic. I think it was like 5% bad comments, but I was still like, well, screw you. And I fought them in my head. We had big, solid arguments for about the next 24 hours. At any spare point, when I was falling asleep, when I was in the shower, when I was in the car, man, I was winning those arguments something fierce. That was the week I had. It was busy as, and now I've got an even busier week ahead. I don't know, it's all happening. But the point of all this that I wanted to make is, even though I have all this stuff to do, I know that I need to reinforce in myself the standard of I make a video at least once a week, and I wouldn't have made this video unless I just stuck on the camera and talked. So sorry it was a little bit less structured than usual, but I hope the message of consistency and just showing up comes through. Anyway, I hope you like the sort of more diary entry stuff. Please actually do let me know in the comments if this felt enjoyable. I don't know. I personally like vlogging, but I know it's not for everybody, but it does take two to tango, so let me know. Catch ya.